I just need to be clear that there is the probability. It moves from possibility to probability that you may.
There is a very
that you may leave the party.
And I have a deep relationship with the president. I can look at him from a distance and look at what he's doing from a distance without talking to him for 10 years. And I can always put the block, okay, this is why he did this is why he did it, this is why he did it. I've known him since 94.
He doesn't know the question I'm going to ask him. The touch point of the answers reflected that he had been reflecting on that matter himself.
Okay,
forget it. That guy is
let's
good.
Take a breather here, sir.
I like him. Ashadu.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's no longer news that one of the most prominent voices in the opposition in Nigeria, Mister Segun Sowunmi, recently visited President Tinubu. Something that has now given birth to the idea that he too might soon be joining the APC. Now, soon after that visit, the media expectedly wanted to ask him to confirm that $1 million question. And the first individual to ask that question was, of course, respected journalist Segun Sowunmi of Channels Television. Watch.
Are you still a member of the PDP?
Without a doubt.
You're a member of the PDP?
Of course. And I have a deep relationship with the president. I can look at him from a distance and look at what he's doing from a distance without talking to him for 10 years. And I can always put the block, okay, this is why he did it, this is why he did it, this is why he did it. I've known him since 94.
But the question is that a lot of people want to know is you are an Atiku man.
I'm a PDP man.
Just a moment. You're an Atiku man. Don't gainsay.
I'm an ambassador.
You are close to him. Just a moment. You're an Atiku man. Yes, now you have gone to meet. Doesn't that look like a betrayal of trust? Did you tell Atiku before you met him?
You know, one of the things that hurts me the most is that most people misinterpret what the role of somebody who speaks for other people are. He doesn't give me the script of what to say for him. I take his idea, I look at him, I ask 1 or 2 questions, and I generate everything I need to say. This is show.
Thank you so much.
By miles is smarter than them. Miles.
Even Atiku Abubakar.
Can you stop this? Smarter than Peter Obi is smarter.
Atiku Abubakar.
It's smarter than.
Surprisingly, on that occasion, Sowunmi didn't manage to get him to answer that $1 million question. Then Mr. Sowunmi was with the ladies of the View. But much as they tried, this was the best they got.
But after that, my visit with him, I can say without any fear of contradiction, that's a very intelligent, very brilliant leader. And his mind is in the right place. And don't be deceived. If he likes, let him stumble, but that is not weak. And he's not ill, not to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. We'll have to take a short break here, sir. Yeah.
He doesn't know the question I'm going to ask him. The touch point of the answers reflected that he had been reflecting on that matter himself.
Okay.
Forget it. That guy is good.
Let's take a breather here, sir.
I like him. Ashadu.
But whatever it was that worked with Channels Television and TVC wasn't going to work with Charles Aniagolu of Arise News. And of course, Mr. Sowunmi tried to deploy those old tricks that worked during his previous media appearances.
I mean, the point is to hear from you. And you have made it clear
Very
that
clear.
you are still a member of the
Till
PDP.
tomorrow.
Because the internet, I'm sure you know that, is alight with reports that you are set to defect to the APC.
Do you know the funny thing? That kind of conversation didn't even happen between me and the president.
Right.
We didn't talk about that kind of conversation. We talked about other things.
But as all good journalists do, the veteran journalist sunk his teeth even deeper.
Listen, Charlie, I'm not here to come and, if he wants me to be a spokesman, we'll have to talk about that, but that's not what I'm here for.
I like that. Well,
that's not what I'm here
let me
for.
pick you up on that point,
Yes.
because I was going to ask you, did you discuss the possibility of any appointments with him? Did he offer you anything or hint at anything?
No, we didn't. Oh, God. That's not the kind of conversation I've been having with these guys since 94. If I am going to support Ashadu Bola Ahmed Tinubu... Listen, if I am going to support Ashadu Bola Ahmed Tinubu for president in 2027, by God and everything that is in me, I'll leave and join his party.
Okay.
I don't believe in the nonsense of saying you are in one party and you're running. No, I don't do that kind of thing.
And then he finally made him spill the beans.
I just need to be clear that there is the probability. It moves from possibility to probability that you may.
There is a very
that you may leave.
There is a very strong possibility that looking at what's going on in my environment, looking at my state where I come from, looking at my tribe and their own desires and my people, there's a very, very strong possibility that I will more than likely leave.
And if you left, it would be to the APC.
I can't, you see,
well, listen, I'm just trying to get you straight.
Yeah, you're good.
Right.
If I delayed because I thought someone else would show me signs that they can not just want to win an election, but run the country.
Now you just have to doff your hat for this man. Definitely one of the best in the business. But that wasn't the end of the conversation. When asked to respond to Sowore's allegations, I have observed that Segun Sowunmi's behavior is characterized by doublespeak. Following the 2023 presidential election, he reached out to me, expressing dissatisfaction with the nation's path and proposing a unified front against the ruling elite, particularly Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's regime. I reminded him of our time at the University of Lagos, highlighting my freshman year exploits with him and noting his self-serving demagoguery. We shared residence at Erika Hall, close to the University Gate at Akoka. While Segun Sowunmi demonstrated exceptional ability to mobilizing students through his rhetoric, he consistently avoided leadership responsibilities during student actions, always providing excuses. In this context, I inquired whether he would maintain his resolve when facing off against Tinubu's regime, as he has suggested. To date, he has not provided a response. Not surprised to see him in this photo op with Tinubu in Lagos. These are the opposition figures in coalition talks. This was how Mr. Sowunmi responded.
Because one of the people who know you from way back, Omoyele Sowore, in a Facebook post accused you of doublespeak and of always being self-serving. He said you reached out to him after the 2023 election and that you expressed dissatisfaction with Nigeria's direction and that you proposed a unified front against President Tinubu, but that he always knew, his words, not mine, he always knew that you wouldn't be able to maintain your resolve when facing off against the Tinubu regime.
Thank you.
Especially when you spy an opportunity. What's your reaction to that?
Did you not read my reaction to the Sowore comment?
No, I want you to tell me your reaction.
Charles, you read wherever you saw that document, that comment, you saw my reaction. If you want this and you want to take the reaction I wrote, your business, but let me just say this. I do not believe that the concept of opposition is daydreaming and building castles in the sky that don't work.
Right.
I don't believe that either Wole, Yele, myself, or any of the Yoruba people will be reasonable to think in a political zone country we should be dreaming and taking the peace by saying that when a Yoruba man is in charge, any other person can try to challenge him and win. It would be ridiculous for the Yorubas to say, oh, Bola Tinubu president will take 4 years, and then the Yorubas will want a fresh 4 years so that they can then do 12 years. So that doesn't make sense. I called you earlier at the beginning when I saw the way the whole thing was. And I wanted us to sit down and take a look at it broadly. But you know, Yele, I concede that he's been standing with his YAC, one of the party that he's been, and he's the presidential candidate, and he's the leader of his party. I concede and I see his effort, but I don't think it will work. I'd hope that we'll sit down and say, okay, dude, how can we make this work? I wasn't looking at mainly challenging the president. I wanted us to start thinking and vying our mind to succession, because these men are old. It's not their fault, everybody grows old. But I have not seen a systematic plan that allows the next generation of leaders to begin to collaborate with themselves. Right. Okay, what do we do? How do we go about it? Can we have a roadmap that we can all sign up to? That cheeky nonsense, it doesn't make sense to me. In the University of Lagos I talked about, I'm the son of a soldier. Yes, I could rally them for protest, but I don't think that if I know what it means to have students come before rapid fire of a machine gun, knowing what I know, I should be interested in telling them to go do that. Right. It's talking about the SAP riots. And I chose at that point in time that once we're able to break the barricade of the school and do that sub-riot and join our colleagues, that's it.
Right.
We were not going to stand on the street and do Tiananmen Square. The
world,
the world has metamorphosed. Well, that's the least problem. He can keep running the way he wants.
Right.
I'll keep encouraging because he's my brother. I see some of the good things he's doing. But I don't have to be Yele. And Yele doesn't need to have a meeting with me. It's not important.
Well, honestly, I admire and respect Showere's boldness and courage. I mean, you can't look at his campaign and honestly see him competing, let alone winning. And unfortunately for him, the place where he used to command a lot of respect has been taken away from him by Peter Obi. And talking about Peter Obi, Mr. Sowunmi thinks he's running a one-man race that is leading to nowhere. Watch.
So my greatest disappointment as we're getting ready for 2027 is actually Peter. And he is my disappointment.
You mean Peter Obi?
Yes, of course.
The Labour Party candidate.
Peter Obi, that's his name.
Right.
The reason is that I had hoped in all of his seriousness, but I know how we started that thing, that Peter will understand that we can move and challenge the status quo, not the way he's been doing it all by himself, just right now, but we could do that just to be able to take the outcome, even if it is defeat. We'll say we gave you the best push and we shattered the glass ceilings and united the country because there's no glass ceiling on top of the Southeast. But I can't.
Well, he did. He made an effort in 2023.
That was 2023. You don't know how we got there. I'm talking about the future. You make one effort, and then the next thing you're doing is you're running up and down the street telling people you want to. What kind of talk is this? Are we going to go into? Well, it's his business, though. And I told him many months before. Now look, if your mind is not made up by May 29th this year, what you want to do,
right?
I'm going to be more inclined to support Ashaju. And the simple reason is this: I told him, Peter, the benefits that we have done now by integrating you as someone that can be leader of the Indigo political force and in a pan-Nigerian environment, I do not think you should throw it away. But it's your call. If you want to do that, all this coalition, that, sitting down with same and thinking that you're bringing a new order,
he hasn't made any definitive decision.
If you are giving him such a free pass, why the hell are you making my life hard? Have I made any statements? Thank you. I'm going to most likely, I hope and pray that magic happens within the next couple of days so that my party can at least be ready for contest. You've heard me say, you can't run a political party on an assumption that you don't even know who the secretary is. You guys may even end up having parallels. You may end up not even having candidates.
Yeah. I think you have a point there.
I can't.
When it comes to the PDP, no question about that.
If I'm not going to do PDP, by God, I cannot do any other party apart from APC. That's clear.
But you have to be in one party or the other.
How am I supposed to be a politician? Do you think I'm a soothsayer? Well, I'm not a freedom fighter. I'm a politician.
I see.
So I've said this before and I will say it again. Peter Obi's chance of winning or making a very strong impression again is for him to get out new and dissatisfied, ready to die Nigerians in their millions to come out with the sole purpose of voting for him. Without that, I just don't see how he wins.